Okay, lads, massive game this weekend. Manchester derby, Man City against Man United. This is always big. I'm really looking forward. I'm going to be on site at the Etihad Stadium for Pro Soccer Talk for this one. But given the off-field stuff, Nick Mendola, when we think about potentially what's coming up for Man City, the changes Man United behind the scenes of Ineos coming in, even poaching some of Man City's executives and trying to replicate their success and the structure that they've been so good at building over the years. It has a different kind of vibe to it, this Manchester derby. It almost feels like the start of a new era in this rivalry.
Yeah, it's almost one where you want to go to Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and say, whatever you do, just don't make your judgment off this game. Because I feel Manchester derby has been, over the last few years, the scene of a few false dawns, hasn't it? Where a win comes in and Marcus Rashford scraps it and Manchester United is fine. Everything's, and in a nutshell, you don't want to judge it off something that could be easily 4-0 Man City, or something where Man United get a win, which they've been over the last month. I'm not sure they've been the clearly better team in any of the games that they won, 4 of 5. Yeah. So what this could mean, we won't know for a long time. And I think the bigger picture is actually way more interesting than the smaller picture, right? But I don't even know where to go. I don't even know where to go with it, Joe, because of the message that we're going to get out of it. Unless it's Man City dominating them, it's probably going to be awkward and convoluted, because this is what derbies do to us. This is what derbies do to us. They level the playing field.
Especially with Man United over the last few years, you're right. Even under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the counter-attacking wins that they would have, even last season, right, when United beat City, and then it was like, oh, okay, they're the real deal now, and didn't quite work out like that. But Andy, we talked to the bigger picture there. What do you think about that situation? Because obviously there's the charges against Manchester City. There's the potential for a lot of things coming up in their not so distant future, where potentially Man United, with their investment, with Ineos's plans, with the people that are being put in place there on the football side of the structure, there is potential for this rivalry to get a bit closer, because there's no doubt City have overtaken United massively in the footballing department over the years. But we know how much of a financial juggernaut Man United are. So they've got that side figured out. And now it feels like there is potentially a couple of years now coming up where United could get really, really close to City and make this great rivalry an even closer one.
And I think the really big kind of wild card in the entire situation, because we don't know yet at this point, is how much longer is Pep there? Because we're seeing it with Liverpool and Klopp making his exit. We know Pep is, I think we all think Pep is on borrowed time now at this point. I don't think any of us expected him to, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be there, but his MO throughout his career has been, I'm gonna drop in, I'm gonna do my thing, we're gonna win a bunch of trophies, and I'm going to move on before. He never really has had to build a second team anywhere that he's been. He had the Barcelona team. He had the Bayern team for just a handful of years, and now he's kind of on the second iteration of what Manchester City under Pep Guardiola looks like. And so, he's obviously proven that he can do that, but he is going to step away at some point, and you would expect some kind of a drop-off from Manchester City, and that could time up perfectly with Manchester United getting just the infrastructure of the club. These are very basic things that we're talking about here that are going to, I think, to use your phrase, Joe, level the playing field between these two clubs just a little bit. Although I do find it a bit interesting that a lot of clubs, and United are one of them, are now looking at the city structure, the city, the people that are running City as, well, these are the best and most brilliant minds in the world. Whereas 5 years ago, Manchester City was thought of very, very differently in that regard. And I do wonder how much, the finances that are behind Manchester City, have made a lot of people who are undoubtedly, very intelligent, very good at their jobs, maybe look a little bit better and maybe get pushed into some of these bigger jobs in the future. And will clubs that hire away some of their executives who are a part of a very big team at City? It's a big, big team because of the money that they have to have so many brilliant minds working together, that I think if you just pluck one of them, the way that United have done, I don't think you're going to quite get the same results as City have had over the last few years.
Yeah, obviously they got Omar Barada coming in as the new CEO of Manchester United, and he's been tasked with a lot of the success behind the scenes at Man City. They're lining up, the likes of Jason Wilcox, who was Man City's academy director, and how Phil Foden and so many other great players come through the ranks there. So yeah, they are looking at City very, very closely and what they've done. But they have other people there behind the scenes as well, with Ratcliffe, obviously. Brailsford as well, and what he did for sport in the UK around cycling, and they're very close together. So they're working through it. It's not going to be an overnight fix for sure, but you're right, Andy. It's really intriguing to see how that kind of lines up with the decisions about City's future and the charges. Is Pep going to stay beyond that, whatever happens? And then United finally kind of figuring things out. On the pitch, Nick, figuring things out. Did it seem like Chelsea offered a little bit of a blueprint to how to play against Man City this season? Because they're in full flow. But that home game a few weeks back, Chelsea frustrated them, hit them on the counter, and United are pretty good at doing that. Again, City missed a lot of chances, and Haaland did, and that's not likely to happen week in, week out. But a little bit of a blueprint there. I think we've seen all season long throughout the campaign on how to get some success against Man City.
I would like to be an outright jerk here. Probably to you guys as well. And let's just go ahead and be way too presumptuous. There is no blueprint. There's a blueprint, like you're saying, what Chelsea did can work against someone playing that system. And I know Luton's not at their best. But did you see the connection between De Bruyne and Haaland at their best, which we only saw a couple times last year and have yet to see this year because they've both been hurt? It's I don't know. It's LeBron and Shaq, both in their primes, running the. It's unbelievable. It was almost at times where you're like, "Is this fair? Is this something where both of these guys are going at the same time?" And going back to that Chelsea game, if Haaland finishes, is that game 3-1? And that's nothing against Chelsea. You're right. That is the blueprint. But like, if you got a blueprint to a motorbike, one of those old Italian motorbikes, and you've also got a blueprint to a Ferrari, which one's going to win the race? So I think you're right, but I just don't see it right now. And I don't want to say it'd be stunned because it's a derby, right? And we see it all the time. And you see it with Everton and Liverpool and Newcastle and Sunderland. It's a great equalizer. It takes a lot to equalize these two teams right now.
Yeah, I think United have to play that way on the counter and deep, but they also have to get very lucky that City have a bit of an off day, a bit sluggish, missed chances like Chelsea did to get anything from this game. Andy, United, mentioned it, lost at home against Fulham last weekend. I mean, we got Shaw and Rasmus Højlund is out, injured as well. Two very key players to the way that they play. It's hard to make an argument for United going to City and winning, right?
Yeah, I mean, aside from kind of what Nick just laid out there again, if City miss a handful of chances and they just don't look at their absolute peak performance, yeah, United could steal this on account. Manchester United's a counter-attacking team now. They brought in the Ajax coach to become a Jose Mourinho team, essentially, and because they have no. United's biggest problem to me tactically is a lack of control of the game when they get a lead, or even at a level scoreline. They can't keep the ball. They can't move the ball around and create chances from kind of an in possession state during the game. It has to be on the counter. They don't, even as good as Bruno Fernandes is, they don't have someone who is making the runs or combining with Bruno to set up chances when they are in the final third and the other team is set up defensively. And what do City do better, maybe than anyone in the world, is they get their rotations right defensively. As entertaining and flashy as they are with the big names going forward, like, still the basis of a Pep Guardiola team is we are going to suffocate when the other team has the ball. They're going to walk around the penalty area, and they're going to give nothing inside the box. And for a team like United, who has to do everything on the counter, I look at it and I don't know where the chances are going to come from, aside from a set piece or a mistake. And if that's what you're hoping for against a team of City's caliber, I don't really like your chances.
You know what? Score prediction wise, I'm going to go 3-2 to Man City. I think defensively, I have seen a few issues with them in recent weeks that United specifically could maybe make the most of, but still think City will have enough to win this and stay in the title race. And well, obviously going for 3 trophies still. They're looking pretty good, and they have been since mid-December. I'm intrigued from a personal tactical battle to have a really close look at Rodri against Bruno Fernandes, because I think Bruno goes under the radar, how important he is to Man United. Nick's talked about that. And I think really whoever comes out on top in that battle will probably help their team get control and have, you know, the main lion's share of possession in midfield there. It's probably going to be Man City and Rodri, but I think Bruno, he's come up big in these games in the past, and he's been really good in recent weeks. So I'm going for City, but I think there's going to be a lot of goals at the Etihad. Nick, what are you going for, mate?
Manchester United are bottom half in goals, expected goals, and expected goals allowed. Bottom half, not outside the top 6 or not top 4. The only thing they're top half in is goals allowed. They're 10 goals allowed worse than they are XG. So I'm going to ride with the numbers, even given a derby. I'll say 3-1, and that one comes late. Or Man City wins, by the way. Let me be clear there. Sorry, Man United.
Of course. Andy, what are you going with?
Yeah, I'll go a nice and comfortable 2-0 for City. I look at United and I don't know where the chances are going to come from unless City give them something. And in games like this, that's not typically what City do. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting one. I'll be on site for Pro Soccer Talk at Man City, Man United this weekend. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for how to watch information, preview, live analysis and reaction before, during and after what is always one of the biggest games in world football. It's the Manchester Derby this weekend, Man City against Man United.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock. And be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you there.